Welcome to this episode of MyDiabetesHQ Live. Hello, my name is Reva Verma. I will be your host today. I am a CCD core team member volunteer. It's a great time to get moving. Whether you're just getting started or an experienced athlete, regular physical activity is an important part of diabetes management. Need some inspiration? Tune in right now to hear about our experiences and tips we have learned along the way. Today's episode is coming up right now. You don't want to miss this. Before we begin, a gentle reminder. The content shared during the MyDiabetesHQ Live broadcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the counsel of your physician or other qualified health provider with the questions you may have regarding your medical care. This weekly broadcast is developed and produced by Cities Changing Diabetes volunteers in Houston and Philadelphia. Our two cities are the U.S. members of a Novo Nordisk-funded global network of 36 cities working to improve diabetes prevention, care, and management. You can learn more about the Cities Changing Diabetes by going to citieschangingdiabetes.com. The purpose of MyDiabetesHQ Live is to help people with diabetes and their support teams. I am joined today by Serena Valentine, CEO, Core Initiative, and lead for Houston Diabetes Peer Support Network. Hi, Serena. Good morning.
Hey, Reva. Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Well, that's good to hear. So, Serena, I'm really interested in hearing your thoughts about working out and fitness. In our private conversations, you've shared with me that you are fairly active. How many times a week do you work out?
I work out about 5 times a week, and I'm about to laugh because this is so true. If I'm in a bad mood or stress, it'll probably be 6 to 7 times, but it's only like 30 minutes each time. So it's not like I'm overworking myself. But yeah,
So basically, during the pandemic, you worked out 7 days a week, is what you're telling me.
pretty much. Pretty much. I mean, some weeks it will be every single day. Yes. Yeah.
Do you work out with friends or do you work out by yourself? How do you get yourself to be accountable?
I work out by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I guess what keeps me accountable is certain improvements that I've seen in my body, especially dealing with my eyesight. The goal from what my doctor told me was to keep my blood sugars regulated, and the longer I do that, then you know the progression will be super slow and it won't be as fast as it was before.
Right. So I want to touch on something you just said. You were worried about your eyesight, so it was a big goal for you to get your blood sugar in control, and working out was part of that. So when your eyesight was compromised, what were things you did to make sure you were still being able to be active so that you could reach the milestones that you were looking to reach?
I did a lot of low impact
Okay.
workouts because uh, when you're doing something too strenuous, it does affect your eyes, and
Yeah.
that's even one thing that I just thought of right now that they told me. You have to be careful. Even doing exercise and your eyes are blurry, especially if you have diabetes.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to exercise if your eyes are blurry. You're supposed to check your blood sugar, wait 15 minutes and check it again. And then the blurriness may not completely stop, but at least to a point where you can see, pretty decent
Yeah.
and your blood sugar's in the right range. So,
Okay. So your doctor explained to you that low impact was the safest type of exercise to do whenever your eyes were compromised and you were dealing with trying to get your vision back, correct?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
what are some examples of some low impact workouts that people in a similar situation could explore?
Um, Low impact, when okay, a lot of times when I say low impact, some people think not cardio, but that's not
Okay.
true.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, see, I thought that meant no cardio, so that's a good clarification.
right. It doesn't mean no cardio because cardio is could be walking or a light jog or jumping jacks, push ups, stuff like that. But if you're out there and you're dealing with your eyes, you're not supposed to be doing push ups with your face down, or planking is kind of messes it up too. And I messed myself up like that one time. I was like, oh, I need to. I was trying to take it a step up, but I tried too soon. And I
Okay.
started doing planking, and everyone's body's different, so I'll just talk about mine. But I started doing planking, and then one of my blood vessels burst in my eye while I was planking.
Oh, I mean,
And so I was like, well, can't do that for a while. It can get discouraging because you want to exercise,
yeah,
especially me. I was like, not just wanting to exercise, not just wanting to keep my blood sugar regulated, but I want to lose weight.
right.
So I was like, I want to do stuff that's going to help me lose weight, but you still have to be careful. Your eyes are important. You're not going to get another pair. So that's if you're dealing with
Very true.
eye
Yeah,
troubles. Yeah.
yeah. So it's a lot of trial and error and not pushing yourself too hard.
Right. Right. Definitely.
So
Hmm.
with that in mind, we know that blood sugar plays a part in working out, right? Like you can't be too low, you can't be too high. Um, when I was younger, personally, when I would work out or do hard physical activity, my blood sugar would drop. But now, as I've gotten older, my blood sugar spikes like mid workout, and then I'm high afterwards for a little period of time. So, what I have come to learn is that I am fortunate enough to be on a CGM, a continuous glucose monitor. So if I'm monitoring my blood sugar very closely and I have an insulin pump that is able to adjust and I can put temporary basals, I'm able to keep my blood sugar at a relatively normal level. However, we know that's not the case for everyone, right?
Right. Right.
So you and I had discussed like what are some other methods that people can do to ensure that their blood sugar is relatively in a normal range so that they feel safe, they feel good while they're working out. So, do you want to kind of talk about that a little bit about the 30-minute before, what we were like experimenting with your blood sugar to see how when you should take a snack?
Definitely. Okay, so if you're gonna work out, you need to check your blood sugar because not everybody has a CGM. If you don't have a CGM and you just have a monitor, make sure you check your blood sugar 30 minutes before you work out. And your blood sugar needs to be below 240.
Mm-hmm.
If it's 240 and up, you need to wait. Drink water. Don't you know do anything that's gonna, because like you said, as we, and I can attest to that too, as we getting older, the blood sugar goes up
Yeah.
when you begin exercising. So you don't want to do that. And also when your blood sugar is at that level, the consistency of your blood is different, and so you can also cause yourself to have a heart attack if it's too high. So you don't want to go 240 or above. Do not exercise, wait, drink water, and sit and check every 15 minutes. If it doesn't go down, of course, you call your doctor. Now, you don't want your blood sugar below 80, is what I was told, because with you, I mean, we know our bodies, but we don't know our bodies. Like, I can't calculate the rate at which my blood sugar is going to go down during exercise.
Right.
So if it's below 80, you definitely need to eat a snack before, you start exercising so that, your blood sugar won't go too low, because we know that even hypoglycemia is really bad too, just as bad or maybe even worse than hyperglycemia. So yeah, you want to be careful about that.
And to that point, like if you know that your blood sugar is going to drop, or you have a pretty good idea that you're, that type of person whose blood sugar drops during exercise, or if you're starting off at a lower number than you're comfortable with going into exercise, you could drink a little bit of Gatorade, mix it in with your water so it's not full strength, play around with it a little bit. It's exactly what Serena said. It's your body, but until you go through, then you experiment a little with yourself. Um, Another thing that I think is important is to eat a protein bar or like a snack or something to give you a little bit of energy boost before your workout to keep those blood sugars elevated at a safe range. Would you agree?
Yes, definitely. Because you don't want to. This is crazy. In peer support, I had someone tell me like, "Well, my blood sugar was low, so before working out, I had like a small piece of cake, and then I started working out, and I'm like, you had cake?" They're like,
Yeah,
"Well, yeah, I was trying to get it up so I can work out." And I'm like, "No, not cake."
yeah,
There's
because those are like short acting carbs, and with the icing, I'm sure like like you get a little like spike, but then it's not gonna give you that energy fuel source that you're looking for to
right.
maintain a level of physical activity that you're probably hoping to get out of when working out.
Right, right, and it's gonna crash.
Yeah,
Simple sugars make it crash.
right.
And they were like, "Well, I don't know what happened, but I didn't feel good after." I'm like, "Of course you didn't feel good after
Right.
that because you crashed." So yeah, you got to be careful about those simple carbs. But
Yeah. So to recap what we're saying right here and kind of synthesize it down for our viewers, I like to do these little snapshots. Test your blood sugar 30 minutes before you work out. See where you're at. If you're on the lower end, eat a snack that's going to give you a fuel source that will be prolonged throughout your workout, like a protein bar or something with a little bit of complex carbs. Second thing is, if you're starting off at a pretty low level, then, or if you know that you're going to crash during a workout, mix in a little bit of something with sugar, like a Gatorade or something like that, to keep you at a normal level. And then if you're the type of person that spikes during a workout, put a temporary basal on your pump so that your basal is a little bit higher, or give yourself a little bit of insulin before your workout. Play around with it, talk to your doctor, make a little bit of a chart and see how you're trending for like 3 or 4 days and go from there.
hmm And I was going to say, for people with type 2 who don't take insulin,
Right,
but your blood sugar still goes up in spikes like mine does, I guarantee you it's not going to stay up for long. It's going to come back down.
right.
That's due to the adrenaline in your body while you're working out, and that's what makes it go up. But don't be alarmed, it's going to come back
Perfect segue.
down.
So, speaking about adrenaline, a lot of people take pre workouts before they work out. And for people with diabetes, both type 1 and type 2, I think for me personally, it's been a trial and error situation to say the least, because a lot of pre-workouts have caffeine in them, and they have over 200 milligrams of caffeine in them, and that caffeine compounding with your adrenaline makes your blood sugar spike and then stay elevated for long periods of time, which is not healthy. So while you may get that boost you're looking for initially, you probably feel really sick afterwards, which has happened with me many times. So what I have kind of experimented with is looking for pre-workouts and talk to a nutritionist, talk to someone who is well versed in these types of things, like go to like a supplement store and talk to them about this. But if you look for pre-workouts that have minimal caffeine but more high focus components like BCAs, that'll give you the focus you're looking for, but you won't be compounding with the adrenaline in your body and caffeine that spikes your blood sugar. That's something that I figured out for myself. Have you had experience in this?
Yeah, I tried a pre-workout one time because sometimes I do have days where it's just low energy and I just not feeling it, but I know I need to work out. So one time I did try pre-workout. I didn't feel bad afterwards, but my blood sugar was higher than I expected it, like much higher, and it stayed high for a while. So after that one time, I was just like, nah, I think I'll just,
Yeah,
if I need to eat a snack and work out, because I only work out 30 minutes. I don't do like hours and hours like some people do. I don't know how they do it, but I do 30 minutes. So it works for me. I haven't really needed a pre-workout anymore. And I think also that's due to, because I know some people talk about the low energy. Well, I need to be able to get up, and they hadn't even started working out yet. I've heard about this in peer support. They're like, I don't have enough energy. What I did, like it took me a while to figure it out, but when I started back working out again, I started with my food first before I started actually having a workout routine, because what you eat can give you the energy that you need. If you're eating healthy, balanced, you can get the energy that you need. So it just takes time. It's nothing that's an overnight deal. It takes time.
yeah, definitely. So after we're talking about trying to make it through workouts and have energy, but you you got your eyesight under control, you worked really hard, you got your blood sugars under control. So now you've transitioned into more of a more physically demanding type of workout, correct? So you and I both do HIIT workouts, high intensity interval training. Can you speak to that and what your experience has been and why that is so beneficial for people whose blood sugars are in a safe range and don't have the complications of diabetes?
Right. So, hit training, that's how I figured out my blood sugar was going up because it's high intensity, your adrenaline, your body's pumping. But like I said, don't have to worry about it. It goes back down. But um it it's good for losing weight, because that was a big thing for me, was I wanted to lose weight. And it also improves your insulin sensitivity in your body, and it helps your blood sugar over a longer period of time to regulate. The long lasting effects, I should say, it lasts longer. So that's why I do HIIT workouts, and they make me feel good afterwards.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the long lasting benefits are something that I really enjoy too after a HIIT workout. Like you feel good, you're getting that serotonin dose, your blood sugar is not out of control, you're building endurance. That caloric burn is higher than other types of workouts, all really beneficial stuff. And you're also building muscle, hopefully, in those workouts, which you have also shared with me that resistance training is very beneficial for people living with diabetes because you're building muscle. And if you build muscle, you're able to metabolize your food and energy sources in a more effective way.
Right, definitely. And uh and a lot of people think resistance training is just weights. And you don't have to use weights for resistance training. You can use your own body weight for resistance training. I don't use weights only because I've done that before, and I bulked up kind of big. And
Yeah,
so I had to slow it down. I didn't want to look like, and to each his own. Let me say that right now. To each his own. Everybody has their own goals that they want, but I didn't want to get too big. So I stopped with the weights, but you can still do resistance training using your own body.
Right. I completely understand that.
Hmm.
Um, for you personally, what blood sugar range do you try to aim for to be comfortable working out with?
Oh, you mean before I start?
Yeah.
Um, I'm good with anything between 130 and 150 because there are times that I've eaten a meal and then I'm like, oh, I need to work out, but I'll wait. I usually wait an hour after I eat or whatever to because
Yeah.
I don't eat big meals anymore like I used to. They're small
Yeah.
meals, so I normally wait an hour and then I'll work out. No, I don't check every time, but sometimes if I feel something, I'm like, okay, let me check it before I start. But normally between 130 and 150, I'm cool with it being there. If it's lower than that, as long as it's not lower than 80, cool.
Do you find that hormones play a part in working out?
Say that again.
Do you find that your hormones play a part as you've gotten older? Like, have you had to be more aware of the hormone changes in your body?
Yeah, for more reasons than one.
Yeah.
Nothing's been diagnosed yet. I'm working on that, but I think that I am starting the change. So my blood sugars are more up and down these days. I haven't had any bad mishaps or anything. I just been still trying to stay consistent, but um sometimes things have to be changed, and this is a lesson for me. I'm gonna have to actually next month. I'm going back to my doctor, my regular doctor, to talk about adjusting my medication because um a lot of times I'm getting low, like super low,
Yeah.
like I hadn't been low like that before. And sometimes it gets really high. I can pretty much deal with those because it doesn't last long, but the lows bother me. So
Right.
I have to go to my doctor and see if I can get some adjustments made up. Anybody who's dealing with your blood sugars fluctuating, please, there's changes that can be made. Go to your doctor and talk to your
Yeah.
doctor about that. But yeah, as you get older, hormones play a part uh, in your woman's body when she might be going through the change, and so that's perfect time to go back to your doctor and talk to your doctor about what changes need to be made in your routine.
Yeah. The reason I asked that, which that was very insightful, and thank you for sharing that, was that, you know, when I myself get my cycle every month, it automatically elevates my blood sugars. And then if you work out on top of that, it's already an uncomfortable feeling for most people. But when you work out on top of your cycle, your blood sugar does stay elevated for longer periods of time, especially in my experience at least. And I don't know if you can attest to that. But what I was going to say is drink a ton of water so
Yes.
that you're flushing your system. It helps with blood sugar management.
Definitely drink water. Water. I tell people that for, even outside of, cycles and stuff like water. That's why they tell you when your blood sugar is too high, you should be drinking water and waiting 15 minutes to check it again because the water can flush some of that glucose out of your system.
Exactly. So with that, um, let's transition to talking about feet for a minute. Um, us with diabetes, we have to worry about circulation and protecting our extremities because we're prone to infection and poor circulation. So, do you look for specific types of shoes that support you or promote something that you're looking for? Like, what do you look for in an athletic shoe?
Pretty much. Okay, so I have flat feet.
Okay.
Okay, so I look for shoes with an arch built in the shoe, arches. and they need to be soft. So I normally look for the memory foam, the shoes
Yeah.
with the memory foam in them, because if they're hard, I've had this problem before. It rubs against my feet, and it can cause a blister or any,
Yeah.
and it takes
That's
a
exactly
long
what I was
time.
gonna say.
It takes a long time for that stuff to heal, and also don't get shoes that are too small,
Right.
because I've had problems with my toes where um it wasn't too small, but it's like, you know how you keep your favorite pair of shoes as long as you ride it till the wheels fall off, you keep them for
Yes.
a long time because you're like, oh, I'm just so used to these shoes. No, if your toe can feel like the inside, the edge, then it's time to get a new pair of shoes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was also going to add to that, you know, to your point about blisters, make sure these shoes work for you. If they're rubbing and just because they're cute you want to keep them, that's not a reason to keep them. Your feet are so important. You got to protect them. So, make sure you're not getting blisters. If you are prone to getting blisters and infections on your feet, invest in some like cushiony socks, like socks that will protect your feet, go all the way up around your ankles, like, protect your toes, have that cushioning in there. Any extra cushioning and protection that you can add to your feet, especially when you're doing strenuous physical activity, it's really
Hmm.
important. So I wanted to stress that a little bit.
Right. And I was going to also say, I tell everyone in peer support this, if you're wearing socks, wear white socks, don't wear dark socks, because if something's going on with your feet, you can't see it
Yeah,
in your
that is
socks.
a great point. I love
Right.
that. Yeah.
Right. If you wear white socks, you can see if your foot is
Yes.
bleeding or if something's
If there's an
coming out of
infection.
it like a blister busted or something like that, that means you immediately need to take care of your foot. So if you're wearing dark socks, you're not going to see that. And
Right.
you're just going to be like, well, it feels okay. So I must be okay. And like me, someone like me, I can't see well. So the
Yes.
white is going to help me to take notice to my foot. If it's dark, I'm not going to see it. Even if I take my socks off and I can tell there's something wrong, I have to get someone else to look at my foot and tell me what they see. So yeah, be careful about the color of socks. Some people are like, oh, is it the dye in the? No, it's not the dye in the socks. It's just that it's going to help you be able to tell if your foot is bleeding or if you have a blister or
Right.
something's coming out of it, or stuff like that.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Um, do you have any other advice for our viewers today?
I would just say be safe. And I know fitness is one of those things that, people will most likely talk about healthy eating before they talk about fitness, getting up to move. But and a lot of people, from what I've heard in peer support, also think that it should be a whole rigorous or strenuous routine. It doesn't have to be. It can be fun. Like you can do things like dancing, and you can, it clean, doing like a spring cleaning your house. That's exercise, okay? I don't care what anybody says. I'm
Right.
sore when I'm done spring cleaning.
Yeah.
No, it's
Just get up
exercise.
and get moving. Just, get that 15 to 30-minute walk in every day. Just something to get your body moving is very important, not only for your physical health and blood sugar management, but also for your mental health, to just take some time to decompress.
Yes, definitely.
Well, with that, Serena, thank you for sharing all of your enlightening tips. They were very helpful today, and I learned a lot, so I'm sure our viewers learned quite a bit too. I look forward to seeing how we both continue to live better and thrive more, and I hope that you update us on future episodes of more fitness tips.
Sure.
So, thank you. We have a quick survey on YouTube and Facebook where we would like to get your feedback on the program as well as recommendations for future episodes. Please make My Diabetes HQ Live better by filling out that survey. Mark your calendars. Our next episode will air next Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Eastern. Thank you for being part of the My Diabetes HQ community. See you next time.